Family Leonardo, me Nasiladi on Multimedia, the CEO Voice of Salon. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring on the latest news what they happen around Salon, whether it be politics or any other news them, what they happen or gossip, what they bring out to una live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You wanna touch the bell icon so that you no miss any video we will try for bring out to una. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salon or also the on Instagram Voice of Salon, please family. And don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now. Tata.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum ya jamati wal muslimina wal muslimat. Shalom to we Christian brothers and sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, fellow listeners, both home and the diaspora. This is the golden voice of the APC Encyclopedia, the Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Fellow listeners all over the globe, as you know, say the encyclopedia media always embark on civic education for continue for educate, inform, sensitize, conscientize, and raise awareness to be people that are mama salon on daily happenings and on burning issues. So when I stay tuned, when I stay fixed, when I stay blessed, when I stay connected to the encyclopedia media, for our listening pleasure is absolutely guaranteed. Once more again, ladies and gentlemen, this is now the voice of the APC Encyclopedia, the Britannica, the socio-political analyst, the voice of the voiceless, the whistleblower, the lion of the social media, the regional publicity secretary, Southern Region, under the ticket of the mighty, indomitable All People's Congress Party. Thank God today, now Tuesday, the 17th of June, 2025. We civic education today, ladies and gentlemen, they come off from Macbeth. We say there is no art to find the mind's constructions in the face. I repeat again, we topic today, they come up from Macbeth. We say there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. So the quote, there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face, it means say, it's not possible for know somebody in true thought or in intentions there just by looking at the face of that person there or looking out in outward appearance. This quote comes from Shakespeare's Macbeth, wherein King Duncan is say, after I don't learn from the tale of Cador's in betrayal, he highlights the theme of deceptive appearances and the difficulty of discerning true character. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. So there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face, it means say, and what he highlights. He highlights the theme of deceptive appearance and the difficulty of discerning a true character. So today with civil society organizations, with journalists, with interreligious council, the Council of Paramount Chiefs, the Bar Association, the judiciary, and with national independent democratic institutions, the Namama Salon, we dey talk today about the deceptive appearances and betrayal to the people where them pretend for serve. Today we see a blatant deception, betrayal, lack of integrity, lack of competence, lack of patriotism, and a gross institutional corruption and deception. Na mama salon. Then they say one thing and do other thing. Vis-a-vis the so-called National Elections Watch, when I knew, headed by Marcela Samba Sisi. ladies and gentlemen, with our insincerity and duplicity in handling serious national issues there, where they cause civil unrest, where they cause political instability, when a recipe for throw the country into another civil unrest. Because truth and justice, ladies and gentlemen, don't become a taboo today. Now the Republic of Sierra Leone, we darling Mama Saloon, the land of milk and honey. Indeed, waiting the 44 United States presidents say, not true. I don't prove it right. When Barack Hussein Obama, he say Africa no need strong men and strong women then, but Africa needs strong institutions there. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, we don't need strong men and strong women then today. Nas alone. Now them strong men and them strong women they are today nas alone. Now they don't collapse. Now they don't vitiate. Now they don't contaminate with state independent democratic institutions then. Now we darling Mama Salone today, the land of milk and honey, the ones called the Athens of West Africa. Because we leaders then, we politicians then, they're not honest to them people, then they betray them country, where they claim say, then play the love and loyalty for serve Mama Salone, and they vow for serve Mama Salone faithfully at all times. Today, now the contrary, due to partisan connection pettiness, regional and tribal sentiment. Only, ladies and gentlemen, one may wonder why 90% of civil society organizations there, na Sierra Leone, now from one tribe, one region, and get one political party loyalty. Ladies and gentlemen, they only day for serve the regional and tribalistic sentiment than serving the nation in a nationalistic and a patriotic point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, one may wonder why we state independent democratic institutions then 94% represented by one tribe, one region, and then political biasness towards national issues. We don't learn a great lesson in Mama Salone. If it this, we not urgently look at her and redress her, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid waiting the future go hold for we nation, we na Mama Salone. People then they pretend say they serve the nation, but in deceptive appearances don't expose the hidden intentions and then duplicitous behavior. President Barack Obama said, any nation that is governed by ethnicity is doomed to tear that country apart. It is an imagination of failure. Now they happen today at the Republic of Mama Salone. Ladies and gentlemen, now let we get a more detailed explanation about this phrase. We see there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no art. What did this mean? This phrase they indicate say, no skill no day, no method no day for accurately determine somebody in inner thoughts and in feelings by observing that person they in face. To find the mind's construction, what did this mean? This they refer to the ability for understand the inner working thoughts and intention of somebody in mind. In the face, waiting this they say. This they emphasize, say, the face not a reliable indicator of somebody in true nature or intention. If they see somebody they smile in their face, but intention and waiting in their heart is bad for the nation. In the context of the play, King Duncan will trust the train of Cawdor based on his appearance and his initial loyalty. However, ladies and gentlemen, the tale now be a traitor where they highlight the tragic irony of Duncan in misplaced trust. The quote they serve as a warning that appearances will be deceiving and that true character is not always easily revealed. Before meeting with Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 4, King Duncan said, there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. This they should just say, a very difficult for read somebody in true intention by looking at that person they in face. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come today to the Sierra Leone perspectives. We know how Marcella Sambasi say, condemn the ECSL of election fraud, flawed tabulation of results. We all been there na Mama Salona, yeah. We talk about disenfranchisement of voters. He talk about the delayance of the opening of police station at the Northwest by ECSL, when I be a deliberate act for disadvantage the voters them, where they suspect say, then are voters for the All People's Congress Party. While other polling stations then at the southeast stronghold of the SLPP, they open them very early, 5 o'clock, not be done reset, they don't open them all, only to an advantage to the SLPP. Marcella Sambasi said in a saloon, when they beat APC party agents, they arrest them, lock them, run after them, stop them, say, they never monitor no elections. Now the southeast strongholds of the SLPP. He happened at Bond, he happened at Pujong, he happened at Kenima, he happened at Kailao. Marcella Sambasi say no denting then day. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all both home and the diaspora. Marcella Sambasi say been day where APC party offices there and houses of APC supporters then at the southeast, then burned them down into ashes at the southeast. Marcella Sambasi say of new Denas alone. When counting, been they go on at the provinces where the ECSL Electoral Santibokiat and Agampi when a Kone, he declare MAADA Bio as a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcella Sambasi say, Benin and Sierra Leone, when the Carter Center, the United States, the ECOWAS, the African Union, the Commonwealth, and the European Union election observer mission, all of them within Sierra Leone, where they all discredit the June 24, 2023 multi-tier elections of flawed tabulation, lack of certification of result, no publication and gazetting of result, and the result announced by the ECSL, we are full of mathematical improbable and statistical inconsistencies. Marcella Sambasi say, Bidena Salon. Today, now the same Marcella Sambasi say of new, the organization, they tweet, say they don't contract them by the EU for 6 months, from June to December, for embark on civic sensitization of the recommendations of the tripartite committee for the conduct of the 2028 general election. See who say new of Marcella Sambasi say expose themselves of the deceptive appearances, ladies and gentlemen, and the democratic betrayal and betrayal to the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We remind me of the Shakespearean quote by Macbeth. There is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Today, if we admire the democracies of Ghana and Liberia, it due to competent, impartial, credible, patriotic, nationalistic, and women of integrity. The Chief Electoral Commissioner for Ghana, now woman. The Chief Electoral Commissioner for Liberia, now woman. But because they are professionals, they're democratic, they're patriotic, they're nationalistic with utmost integrity for serve the country and serve the people and serve their conscience. Today, they don't put Ghana and Liberia now the whole map. Ladies and gentlemen, say na real democracy then they practice. For us in Sierra Leone, ladies and gentlemen, now partisan loyalty, regionalism, tribalism, nepotism, cronyism, political patronage, brown enveloping, political arrogance, and professional dishonesty for personal aggrandizement and self-egoism. We claim say we civilized and well educated. While we civilization and education is based on tribalism, regionalism, and political sentimentalism. Ladies and gentlemen, we love we party them, we love we regions them, we love we tribes them, and destroy the country when we daddy mamas alone. If really Marcella Sambasi say, not to a tribalist, not to a regionalist, not to SLPP loyalist, he not go tolerate such a dangerous and a disastrous precedent na mamas alone. Where if they not address them properly, they throw Sierra Leone into future brutal, bloody, deadly, nasty, and devastated war. Fellow Sierra Leonean ladies and gentlemen, we go more than the 11 years rebel war, we'll get Sierra Leone. Because if Bio do so and go scot-free, another person go come tomorrow back and follow the same precedent. Even if we get all the electoral laws then at the wall, not the electoral laws they make them for elections. They lost them very good. With 1991 Constitution lost them very good. With 2022 Public Elections Act, they're very good. But because people then don't use that act of impunity, say they do this, elect puff, nothing they come up behind that. Now small piece, and they soak trusses. Now that will be left pante. We get 11 years rebel war. Now this country here, ladies and gentlemen. So today, if we then they allow short thing them for happen, for let become a dangerous and a disastrous political president, Mama Salon, I'm afraid. For my French brother say, l'homme qu'il faut à la place qu'il faut. What men have done, man can still do. So it's always necessary for embrace orderly and honorable behavior. It's always necessary for talk to somebody, direct them in face, confidence, for tell and say, what you do is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Look now somebody in the eye and tell and say, what you do is wrong. This then called moral ethics and the rules of morality for know what's right and what's wrong. Waiting for be done and what is ought not to be done. What is morally right and what is morally wrong. Because the motto of Macbeth is, what's done cannot be undone. Law will not fall into another Shakespearean play, whether the comedy of errors. The main theme of Macbeth, now the destruction wrought when ambition goes unchecked by moral constraints. They always teach we, follow we trust we serve, and stand up for we serve. I don't learn say sometimes your ambition go lead you astray, and it go make you end up for do bad things. So in Macbeth, Macduff emerged as the true hero, just like this electoral justice fight Odepa, where His Excellency the President-elect will stand for electoral justice. When Dr. Samura Kamara therefore emerge as a hero, ladies and gentlemen. While the titular character, where flaw of ambition, derive for the point of being a plague upon the nation, where so desire for govern, go fall in that napalpabio. So the meaning of Macbeth, now the objects of the Shakespearean, where now the corrupting currents of power and ambition, the inevitability of time, the toxic intimacy of husbands and wives, blood that will have blood. So we get Fatima Bio, with a Lady Macbeth, and waiting at the characteristics of Lady Macbeth. She is manipulative, dominant, weak, powerful, emasculating, controlling, and hypocritical. Then we get Macbeth, when Julius Maada Bio, he is indecisive, ambitious, impulsive, intuitive, callous, tyrannical, duplicitous, and zealous. Then we get Banco, when a loyal, partner, virtuous, and diplomatic, and that now the president-elect, Dr. Samura Kamara. Ladies and gentlemen, now listen to waiting Marcela Sambas say, been tell we the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and today the treat were in organization the key against the people of Sierra Leone when a deceptive appearance and betrayal to we democracy, by extension, the people of Sierra Leone. When I listen to Marcela Sambas say.
You see, that's the thing. We've called for a situation where the Electoral Commission could come up with the figures. Let them talk about the figures per polling station so that these issues will be clarified. Because one of the things that were very important now that the will of the people for be sustained. One of the points people normally say, and I think I like that expression. They say, let's go to the ballot box and let the ballot box speak. So for every single vote, there is a message behind it. And so if we see that kind, inconsistency, we ask the Electoral Commission. It's part of accountability. It's an accountability institution. A lot of organizations are doing it around the world. I don't think for bring problem, for bring tension. It is about how we resolve the issue now matter. So we still stand with what we say.
All right, Marcella, you've talked about, and I saw that in your statement, that the ECSL should release, results of the polling stations, right? And that's the call. Has the ECSL responded to that particular request to publish the polling station results?
No, not to our knowledge at National Elections Watch. So what we have seen is that there's, a lot of hype for cloud this, and people are otherwise saying news should release their data. In fact, we don't get results. The institution we mandated, I think we don't get this conversation before. In 2018, there's this group of people who are tossing us here and there. In 2018, we found a serious criticism for saying, we're not getting no rights for talk about election results and data. And we said, okay, if we not get rights to talk about election results and data, 2023, when we designed the PRVT protocol, we say no, we mark an X, we say no, we will only speak after the CSL has spoken. So now, if we have been threatened to say nobody should speak about results until after CSL, when they pull them partial, we say talk. Anything they pull, we say put verification based on the observation. So when the partial results was released, we were on track together. And we were, because the PVT has always been on track with ECSL, 2007, 2012, 2018. In fact, when we first did the PVT for West Africa, Sierra Leone was the first country. Now we first do PVT. I remember the following year in 2008, Ghana was going to the polls. We come up Sierra Leone, we can't Ghana for can't support the training in Ghana. And they welcome that Sierra Leone has done this. In 2023, when we also ran the methodology in the region and say the PVT was not representative of the level of work we would do. It's process and results transparency. It's a verification of process. And change and so PRVT, Sierra Leone is the first country where bring enough evidence and data can public on the process also. So one thing what they say is people that believe we will talk say this number of polling stations are open, and then we say yes, then polling station they are not open on time. This number of people go for all votes, they're not able for votes because the voter card, they get a voter card, but then their names are not on the register. They believe we. If we say now, when it comes to the result, we see some inconsistency, and can we clarify it? It becomes you and cry. I don't think say for you and cry. I don't say it's very challenging for even the commission, but it is about building trust and confidence in the process. So yes, we engage the ECSL and we think say throughout the election day, the process been peaceful despite the delays. I mean, small alala them in day. Issues came up during the day, but it was largely peaceful. The side who side the controversy begin at the counting. So voting ends at the polling station, but the controversy started with the collation. Who side they aggregate the results? Now then the transparency issue started. And because of that, we need for clarifier. I wonder why make a number of Sierra Leoneans not think say them for ask question around the collation and tabulation. Instead, it's about National Elections Watch for bring in your data. So yes, we think say we want for still call on EC in the spirit of progress, in the spirit of unity, because people they lie now say peace is undermined. No peace is undermined. Nobody has lifted a finger. I lead a coalition that they know I always stand for peace and the truth in that coalition together. We do things to the utmost. In fact, one of the things that we are known for, we are known to do things to the letter. I mean, as the head of the coalition, I can vouch that if this PLVT was not right, if are there any doubts in as the head, I would not do this. I will not do this to Sierra Leone. But I believe, say, those who have worked on the PLVT, those who have observed the elections, they have done a good job. We are asking questions because we want to build peace. If person lost election, I want when they go lost, make it go lay down and sleep and say, yes, I lost. But let me not lost with doubt and think, say, somebody not comes me votes fine. So it would be good to lay this matter to rest by bringing the data, we clarify them, and in the final analysis, because every other observer mission noted opacity around the collation process. So I think we need to clarify that.
Well, I'll come back to you, but thank you very much for.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades, all this is Marcella Sambasisi of New in the June 24, 2023 elections, where they tweet today, they tell we about other different things. They say Marcella Sambasisi, na intel we say the 2024-2023 election, no candidate, no presidential candidate, MAADA Bio and Dr. Samura Kamara, no get the 55% threshold for become president. So then for go to a runoff. But when they go to the tripartite committee, they expose the lies of Marcella Sambasisi. So, ladies and gentlemen, the IMEC today, we audio title, there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. When I quote, and these quotes, they come up from Macbeth. Now, it's Shakespearean quotes. Ladies and gentlemen, women say, it is impossible for know somebody in true thoughts or intention just by looking at their face or outward appearance. This quote now from Shakespearean Macbeth, wherein King Duncan say, after learning of the things of cowardice in betrayal, Ege forsake this. It highlights the theme of deceptive appearances and the difficulty of discerning true character. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, now this they happen today, now we darling Mama Salone, ladies and gentlemen. But fellow Sierra Leoneans, comrades all both home and the diaspora, are the call winner for law we continue for trust in the leadership of His Excellency, the President-elect, Dr. Samura Kamara. Waiting the people here they say, now one thing, and waiting the international community they do, now other thing. So now the people of Sierra Leone, the full way, now I make some of we stand tall. Where some people then be want blame the international community. Where be say, when I defend the needle, certain people then put their foot on top the needle. Oh, now no, they see the needle. This now the institutions that organize alone. This now the people there We land book na salon. We say, then come for serve the country. When they betray Mama Salon, when they undermine Mama Salon, when they rikishi Mama Salon, fellow Sierra Leoneans, we see today, Sierra Leone no go before. Now because of the people there. We represent we in certain institutions there. They're not genuine, they're not sincere, they're not trustworthy, they're not get integrity, they're not patriotic, they're not nationalistic, they're not democratic, ladies and gentlemen, and they're not God-fearing. Because if you God-fearing, if you love your country, if you love Salon, Marcela Samba say now go tell me, say, now them people have been gonna push for democracy, kill over 50,000 Sierra Leonean citizens. We come together say now, Lord get democracy through the ballot box and not through the bullet. But Marcela Samba say, Dena Salon, we are in SLPP. They oppress this country as if Sierra Leone they at war. Where they talk about ballot, SLPP they talk about bullets. When I listen. So Marcela Sambas say, now this type of democracy you want for Sierra Leone, ladies and gentlemen, we're full of police brutality, military high-handedness. We get election as if Sierra Leone they at war. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Today, MAADA in Kawan, from April 4, 2018 to date, we don't see, say, it don't expose so many people there in the Republic of Sierra Leone. It don't expose politicians at the APC, bad politicians at the SLPP, civil society organization there, the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, the Sierra Leone Association of, let me say the Sierra Leone Bar Association, the Council of Paramount Chiefs, the Independent Democratic Institution, with judiciary and Salo, the parliament, everything don't expose the coming of MAADA Namama Salo. Even we own chairman, MAADA expose to all, the whole world, they know say finally, Sierra Leone, truth and justice don't become a taboo.
Even when I think they don't really put your foot down. We shall have a handle the thing here. I say no, pass the call foreign people. In fact, we shall be any doctors and more they talk this. And they need to know me, they're like ambassadors them. They tell the ambassadors there, see, EMBO don't meet, and they don't argue for good elections, then they're back. And they say the exact word we use. They say it's an homegrown problem. So EMBO wants to suffer homegrown. The normal international partner for involved. Okay. What he said in my presence to the international partners. They said it's an homegrown problem. They said EMBO don't agree for let them go into dialogue and into money. He said that dialogue they could pave the way for long which happened in 2023. They'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean comrades all, the politics of hypocrisy, Namama Salon. Hey, listen, them people there, where they lie against Dr. Samura Kamara, waiting Fatima Bio talk about them people there.
Monday, not to Kalanti. But one for tell Samura one thing. Now, say, what time they can begin to? Any time on a hold on a NAC meeting for make message when I was send at this country for put fear for people there. Una all when they kind of want to be an office na net. Una all una video they get there. I'm gonna put all and una all na neck una NAC member there. Una all when they na NAC there. When the kind of we host na net. Una all una video and they can begin release them one by one, including the KOROMA.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, this now the toxic politics we'll get today. The mamas alone. Everything not box up. Civil society then. Don't betray the people. Political party leaders then. Don't betray the people there. Independent democratic institution. Don't betray the people there. In fact, Sierra Leone today, the truth don't become a taboo. We talk the truth. Now fire, he don't said. But ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, a fine we MAADA Biocan as president in Masalon, we can expose boku things there for we to the Republic of Sierra Leone, things that will not be known, people that will be in trust, people that will be feel say they're honest, people that will be feel say they're trustworthy, people that will be feel say they like this country. Yeah. But today, now they don't turn that kind way. Where this they talk this, dandy they talk dandy. You go to we own party. In fact, now they don't be the mouthpiece for the SLPP. Like say now Tola, they don't give them. Now listen.
Even when I think they don't give it to foot down. We shall we handle the thing here. Nice and no. Pass we call foreign people.
Secondly, we foresee and arrange them as Sierra Leone. Will not forget international mediators. So we outrightly say no. First of all, we will not for even sit down before UN. Because our experience is not to the first attendees, we even make reference to the visit at State House before the last UN of former President KOROMA. This that way they take pictures and when they go UN a different thing. So we say no, that is one. And secondly, there is no way we will go through dialogue of such without international mediators.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, all waiting happen now the Macbeth play. Now in the happen today, na Mama Salon. There is no act to find the mind's construction in the face, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's very, very impossible for know somebody in true thought or intention just by looking at their face or outward appearance. Now it don't happen today, na Mama Salon. But fellow Sierra Leoneans, let me continue for hold the peace. Let me continue for trust in the leadership of Dr. Samura Kamara. Very soon, with stolen democracy, will be restored. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody know what's happening in Mama Salon. Everybody see what's happening in the June 24, 2023 elections. When I state cool, I'm Mama Salon. Now listen.
The Constitution of Sierra Leone mandates a presidential election every 5 years. In June 2023, Sierra Leoneans went to the polls to exercise their democratic right. They hoped for a fair and transparent process, a process that would reflect the will of the people. Instead, they got chaos and controversy. The incumbent president, MAADA sought re-election. His main challenger was Samura Kamara, a seasoned politician representing the All People's Congress. The election was fiercely contested, with both sides campaigning hard across the nation. The stakes were high, and the atmosphere was tense. The future of Sierra Leone hung in the balance. On June 24th, 2023, the people of Sierra Leone cast their votes. They placed their trust in the electoral system, hoping that their voices would be heard. However, the events that unfolded in the days following the election would shake the very foundations of Sierra Leonean democracy and leave the nation deeply divided. Just one day after the election, on June 25th, 2023, MAADA was declared the winner. The speed of the announcement was startling. Even more alarming was the fact that the announcement came before all the votes had been counted. This unprecedented move immediately raised red flags and sparked outrage across the nation. The Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, the body responsible for overseeing the election, failed to provide a transparent and verifiable count. The lack of transparency fueled suspicions of foul play. How could a winner be declared without counting all the votes? The answer, many believed, was simple. The election had been rigged. The international community, accustomed to Sierra Leone's relatively peaceful democratic transitions, watched with growing concern. The absence of a clear and verifiable vote count undermined the credibility of the election. It cast a long shadow of doubt over the legitimacy of MAADA Bio's claim to the presidency. The main opposition party, the All People's Congress, immediately cried foul. They denounced the election as a sham, a blatant attempt to steal the presidency. They accused the Electoral Commission of colluding with the ruling party to manipulate the results. Their calls for a recount fell on deaf ears. International observers, while acknowledging some positive aspects of the electoral process, expressed serious concerns about the lack of transparency in the vote counting. They highlighted the statistical inconsistencies in the announced results, further fueling suspicions of manipulation. Their reports painted a troubling picture of an election marred by irregularities. The people of Sierra Leone were left to grapple with a deeply unsettling reality. Their votes, their voices, seemed to count for little. The very foundation of their democracy, the right to choose their leaders through free and fair elections, had been shaken to its core. In a desperate attempt to quell the growing unrest and address the concerns raised about the election, a tripartite committee was formed. This committee, composed of representatives from the government, the opposition, and civil society, was tasked with reviewing the electoral process. However, even this attempt at reconciliation was tainted by controversy. Allegations surfaced that members of the tripartite committee had been bribed with a staggering $3 million to endorse MAADA Bio as the legitimate president. These allegations, if true, would represent a shocking betrayal of the public trust. It would strike at the heart of Sierra Leone's fragile democracy, exposing the rot within its institutions. As of January 24th, 2025, the Tripartite Committee's report is overdue. The legitimacy of MAADA Bio's presidency hangs in the balance, as does the future of Sierra Leone. The international community must demand accountability and transparency.
This only demand accountability and transparency. Because the one they would then bribe $3 million. Now the tripartite committee, Dr. Kefala Marade, today they face all over the country. They say they want to become flag bearer president for the June 24, 2023 multi-tier elections in the Republic of Sierra Leone, ladies and gentlemen. But the truth go reveal, and the people of Sierra Leone don't stand very firm, strongly for democracy, and with democracy will be restored. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't come out and tell them they just twist saloon people there, make them the kidaka and turn them how they're not supposed to be. Now the people of Sierra Leone don't know their right. The people of Sierra Leone always will embark on civic education for continuing for educate with people there. And the people of Sierra Leone don't know say the people's power, no money, no go buy them. The people's power, no juju, no go stop them. So fellow Sierra Leoneans, Lord shake body and ragbala and come to the ending of the presentation.
They spend too much money for win election. Money no work, because people we need change. If you don't have work in the days of my brothers, 207 they spend too much money for win election. Money no work, because people we need change. This no do for tell all politicians say. People's power, no money, no go buy. Work for the people, you work for campaign for you. When you work for the people, you work for talk for you. When people need change, no you no go stop them. People's power, no money, no go buy. When people need change, no you no go stop them. People's power, no money, no go buy at all. Mic to you, now for do the right thing. Sorry for the masses, we they represent.
Now they put you there. Money for the country, use up and the country. No keeper and preserve for your next campaign. Bring development, we go make people glad. Work for the people, you won't go campaign for you. When you work for the people, you won't go talk for you. When people need change, no juju, no go stop am. People's power, no money, no go buy am. When people need change, no juju, no go stop am. People's power, no money, no go buy am at all. Election done now. Let we move on for make salute. Make we stop all the fences. And provoking we go make what's in there. Salute a sweet, sweet country. They all depend to leaders then. Some African leaders where they get power. Some peacefully, they go only wake up. Now they grave for exile. Because they don't want to be democratic.
Now they don't happen today. Former President KOROMA today, he wake, he dream, which I go there. Now exile today in Nigeria. Because people they no one respect democracy. And this go end up to Madabio. We no one respect democracy. So we say, may so rest in peace to the Bongo, Lassana Sharif, and also the woman. We then play Sonita. Himself, God don't take in life. May I so rest in perfect peace. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is no art to find a mind's construction in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Julius Caesar in Macbeth. So, this is Sierra Leone. Fellow Sierra Leone, and will allow me for salute the following people. I they salute you, sir. APC Maleka, the duplicate. The chairman for the Council of APC social media bloggers, both home and the diaspora, for electoral justice and accountability. Wanna allow me for salute MK20, the chairman of the Council of Anti-Cadiz social media bloggers, for vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, for it is only a donkey that knows when the cat draws the horse. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, this